Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 23 of my Factorio 2.0 guide. So if you saw my episode 0, then you might remember that there was a point that I said that I would start saying, like, this is where the biggest branches start happening. Like, if you were going to buy the DLC, and this is that episode. So if you were going to buy the DLC, now's a really good time. After we do blue science, after we create a build for blue science, there will be more deviations. You could just not buy it, and just do everything that I show you, and you'll be fine. Even if you had the DLC, you can still do basically the exact same things that we're doing. There will be some deviations near the end of the game. If you did get the DLC, then after this episode, why did my alt mode get turned off? If you had the DLC, you would have sections like down here in the lower left-hand corner, where you would have space platforms, and then whatever it was that needed space platforms as a requirement, and this would just feed into this. You would also have some other machines. There's again, I don't remember. We have the cargo landing pad. That's what this is up here that we placed in the last episode. And then that's that. And then there's 3, and I forget which ones go in which buildings, but there are 3 that are needed for machines that function on space platforms, and 1 that is needed for creating a new space platform. Space platform starter kit. That sounds like that could be the one that goes in over here. I think that's what it's called. Space platform starter kit. Something like that. Anyways, so in the last video, we set up this monstrosity. A research dedicated research labs that could bring in 12 sciences. We only have access to a total of 7 in the base game, but we set up for future success in this playthrough. Okay, so we need to set up blue science. So before we do that, let's extend our bus. So we know that we're gonna continue on with all of these items. I don't think there's anything that's gonna not come. We also need to get sulfur down here because we will need sulfur. So let's extend this. The trees are gonna mess us up. That's okay. Bad trees, go away. And this one up here. Sure, just get rid of all the trees. Paste, continue on, and more trees. Whatever. That's fine. Oh, it's nice just being able to one-shot the trees. Okay. We need to get some rocks out of the way. See, we started clearing these out last 2 episodes ago, I think. Okay, so what do we need for blue science? So blue science is going to take up... It's going to have one of the largest footprints. Blue science and purple science and military science. Those are the biggest ones, but blue science is a big boy. So let's set up our parameters. We're probably not going to be able to work within our parameters. We need to resupply because we have none of these. 0. We need some. We're actually probably good on. We're probably good on a lot of the stuff. We went through the process of making all those red circuits, and we're not even like using that many of them. Don't worry, we will get there. So let's grab these. We can need 50. We're gonna need more, but let's just top up on some of the stuff. Let's grab another stack of those. Our inserters are probably fine. I don't think we're gonna need any more of these unless we expand the steel, which we will probably need to do at some point. Why is this guy not making anything? What is he missing? Green circuits. No. Easy, easy fix. And I still have one on me. Oh boy. We need another. We need to make a run by the junk chest at some point. Oh my gosh, and I have science. Oh my gosh. All right. Just don't, you know, don't mind me. I'm not dumping that there. Okay. We need blue science. Oh, okay. We need more of these. 100. Wow, they made them that fast. Good job, guys. All right, we're going. We're going. We're going. Let's check our pollution. Oh. Okay, I will maybe think about doing that in the near future. Let's get blue science going. We're 6 minutes in. We need to get some blue science going. Okay, so what do we need for blue science? Well, I can tell you one thing we need. We need sulfur. So let's just drag the sulfur all the way down. This will be the cutoff point for the sulfur. We don't need any more of it after this. So everything that we have coming down this belt can just bleed right into blue science. That is something that comes with time. That is not something that you would just immediately know or think about. So we're gonna need a big section. Let's see what we need. All right, so we know that from these sciences that we have red and green and military, we're kind of aiming for about 1.5 per second. 10 of these were 1.5 per second, 10 of the military were 1.5 per second, and 12 of the green were 1.44 per second. We're still going to try to aim for that because whichever science is your lowest output is your weakest link. You are completely restricted by that one, especially whenever it comes to red, green, blue, and purple. Those are probably the 4 most important. The other ones just kind of are, they're kind of used here and there, but the red, green, blue, and purple are used in almost every single research once you get to a certain point. There are going to be some, like this one, that only needs red, green, blue, and yellow. But once you get into the never-ending... Okay, forget what I just said. Red, green, and blue are used in everything. There you go. Alright, let's just stick with those 3. Wow. I was thinking purple because purple is used in mining productivity, endless research, and so those are the 4. Anyways, moving right along. What were we doing? We need purple. We need blue science. All right, what do we need for blue science? So over on the right hand side, we need sulfur, which we have. We need red circuits, which we have. And we need engines. We do not have engines being made anywhere other than where it is necessary. And the engines will therefore be made here. We will make the engines that we need. So let's look at what we need for engines. So we need 0.06 engines per second to create 0.06 blue circuits or blue science per second. How many do we need from here? This makes 0.07, so this is almost 1 for 1. So let's just assume that we are going to be direct inserting into this, which means that we are also going to mirror something like this. Okay, let's just see. So how do we get engines into here, which also need 3 ingredients, and then 3 ingredients into here? The one way that we could do that is we could move this back to here, have a belt come through, and then have long inserters feed these. We could have something like that. Let's see, do we have enough room for that? If we did that here, We do not have enough room for that. So this is one of those very rare situations where we will not be doing we will be spreading these a little bit, and I think I don't remember if it's the RoboPort that we go around. We're going around the RoboPort, and the reason for that is the blue inserters will put out their product here, so this belt really doesn't need to be there, and then the same will end up being on this side. So we're going to Control X, and we're going to move that in 1. We can't get too close to the science research labs, so that'll leave us room for 1 belt. 1? We're going to need more than 1, so let's move that over 1 more belt. Oof, that is tight. Now, why did we just shift this right next to our labs and give 0 space? So let's look at the engines. The engines need steel, they need gears, and they need pipes. So we are producing pipes somewhere, but not enough to bring over here. We don't have pipes on the bus. We don't want pipes on the bus. We could make an argument for wanting gears on the bus. However, I find that it's better, as previously stated, to just craft them on site. So let's figure out how many we need, and then we can figure out how many gears and pipes we need to produce on site for these. So we will also have 2 lanes of things coming in, because we will have one that has gears. This is 4 lanes, right? So one will have, say, steel, one will have gears, one will have pipes. So that's at least 3 lanes. That's 2 belts. So this is why we needed the extra space. So we're gonna control and cut all of this and move it up, because we're gonna need some space, and that means I need to remap. So let's do some math. So if we have 0.06 and we wanted to get to 1.5, how many of these do we need to get our production closer to 1.5? So if we look at the green science, which we can't because, you know, radar stuff. All right, let's just hoof it over there real quick. I could have looked at I could have just done Factoriopedia or looked at my inventory or here, but whatever. Green. Let's place this radar down. Just sure. If we scroll over this, it's 0.12. So this produces twice as many as the blue science, and we have 12 being created over here. So we need 24 of the blue science to match the green science. Technically, I guess if we wanted to get to 1.5, we could nail that by having 25 of these, but we're only going to do 24. It's symmetrical, it lines up. We're just going to do it like that. So, that means, whoops, I'm going to copy, and that's 12, and that is 24, right? 12 on this side, yep, and 12 on this side. Okay, so I know this is kind of a mess. That's fine. We will clean all of this up in due time. I'm not going to do it right now, even though I'm doing it right now. Why do I do that? I say I'm not going to do it, and here I am. These were probably fine, so we'll just leave that. We also want to get close to the RoboPort, and I think it's going to end up like there. That's fine. We can just, when we need, we can just come out like that. So, what about the engines? We need to produce some stuff for the engines. So if we take a look at the engines, we already determined that we need steel. Let's get our combinators. So this is going to be sulfur and red circuits, because that's what the yellow, or that's what the blue science needs. And then that will be mirrored over, whoops. That will be mirrored over here. So we need, listen to that science go, yeah. We need gears, we need regular pipe, and we also need steel. If I can click the button. Steel. Okay, so steel can just come in, and we need to make the others on site. So we will have those be made like here-ish. We will have one on one side and one on the other. So let's take a look at gears. So gears, and take a look at pipe. The pipe. So we have 24 of these. So 24 of the engines. 24. Let me get my calculator out. 24 times 0.07 gears gives us 1.68. So we know from the last, the red build, red and green build, that these make 1.5. So we're going to need at least 2 of these to fill the requirements for our engines. And what about the pipes? So the pipes need about twice as much. So 0.15 times 24 gives us 3.6. These create 1.5. So this is going to be 3, and we're going to need to get to 3.6. I don't know where these are going to be placed in the end, so let's just move them out of the way for now. And we will figure that out. So at some point, they need to come off onto a belt, like this. And they will need to merge. And then go, I don't know, I'm not going to do this underground, but something like that, right? We'll just, that. They will need to merge and go onto this belt. So that means we need inserters going off like that. We need inserters coming in like that. And what do they need? They need iron plate, iron plate, iron plate, iron plate. Perfect. So we will have an iron plate coming in at some point and splitting off. Something like that. We can have steel then come in. It would be nice if the steel could just go all the way. Whatever, that's fine. This was iron. Oof, that is so close. Okay, and this was iron plates. Steel here, iron plates here. And we'll figure out how to get these in at some point. So, oops, I don't think these won't jump either, because they, the steel doesn't jump that far, so those won't jump that far. Okay, so, you know what? We could actually pull these guys in some, because they don't need to be out that far. They just need to be far enough out to catch this. And same with these, they just need to be like that, so we can peel the tails off. So that gives us room to have this come into here. And what do we need to have this happen here? We can go underground here, and do the same thing. Sweet! I believe we have a setup. Let's just map this out and make sure that this is gonna work. We're gonna have sulfur coming into here. We don't need that much sulfur, so actually we don't. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the sulfur come up. No, back it up a bit. We're gonna have the sulfur come up, and it's gonna meet the reds at some point. Whether that's a, and then once they meet, we're going to split it. These will go this way. And these will go this way. Awesome. So then they will probably meet something like this, which means that our reds will then need to be like this. We are gaming, we are working this out. So let's see where the reds are gonna come in from. They're gonna come here, so we can just split and go up. This will be blue. I don't remember where blue comes in from. Back here, because this is gonna be solar panels and accumulators very soon. So blue will be in this direction. How about we just... Where did they go? Make it official. I don't know how far blue goes, but it's not off the top of my head. Deconstruction planner, there. Oh, there you go. Blue's gonna come to here. That's the farthest back that blue goes. Sweet. Okay, moving along. Let's we're 22 minutes in. We got a lot to do still. So let's start slapping some of this stuff down, because we're gonna have to get it all connected and make sure that it all works. And is this far enough back? This is actually perfect. This is exactly where we need to be, because this is probably the farthest out that we can be. Oh my gosh. Undo the deconstruction planner. This is our sulfur and red circuits. This is our steel and gears and pipe. Our plates, which we call it iron plates. I know. I usually save the inserters for last. We haven't even finished this yet. Let's do this, and then we can set up our. Oh, we gotta do the inserters up here too. And then so we're gonna have blue coming out on the left side and blue coming out on the right side. They will need to meet, and we'll just do that there. Meet there. How does that sound? How does that sound? How does that look? Okay, so let's make this look better. If they're paired, it's usually better for if they're paired, it's usually better for the power poles. We need those there. That means that the red ones will just go from here into from the engines to the blue circuits, so that can be mirrored over there. These are going to need to take from both sides too, so these are also going to need long hand inserters in the middle. and then here in the middle. Whoops. And these are going to need long hand inserters in the middle. That is a lot of long hand inserters. And regular ones coming in here. And these guys also need them there. At least it's a clean looking build. Everything lines up, and then these need to exit onto here. For the blue science. And last but not least, over here, and then we can do the power poles and hook it all up and good to go. Okay, everything's getting, let's just go through. Steel's coming in here. These are good. Iron coming in here, going to here. We didn't need iron for anything else. Red is coming through here. Sulfur's coming through here. It's being split. One's going this way, one's going this way. That's plenty enough. Okay, power poles. What if we just did like that? That's we're still gonna need top and bottom. These will all need something on the. Those are all powered. I'm actually fine with those staying like that. It would it won't work for like if we take a blueprint. Because I think I might take blueprints of all of these later. What if we just did like this? Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll just have all the power poles lining up on both sides. This is a lot of power poles. We normally don't need that many. Yeah, just for the sake of the blueprint. If we, not if, we're gonna end up taking blueprints of these things. Oof, that hurts. But you know what? It is what it is. Everything is powered. Lights. We have no lights. All right. Let's get reds in here. Red circuits on the way. This is the first major thing that we've needed red circuits for. What else? We need we need I'll just place that there. Nope, it's too confusing. We're gonna have to do it there. Same with this guy. This guy can come back, and steel will be, well, I'm not gonna put the steel down yet. We know how that goes. Not sure if everything's gonna line up right. As a matter of fact, it probably won't. This one will work out just fine though. And I don't get a full inventory of, whoops, right, priority right. These guys go in. And now we just need steel. Which we'll probably have to, if I split it here, like at best, this is the way it's gonna look. Eh. Man, I have clogged up this middle section, but that's okay. So we'll just say that. I mean, you know what? I could have. Okay, this is gonna be on the inside, so this is gonna be on the inside. So if this came up to here, this would also be on the inside. Yeah, sure, we can do it like that. And then we just need to connect the steel. Let's go get some lights. we need to put some lights down. And then we need to connect the blue science that we just created to the research labs, which should be pretty easy because we already made the connection for it. What is being crafted over here? Okay, it's just the flamethrowers. Oof. We're not going to use them, but there, they are available if you want. What did I come to get? Lights. You know, it's so easy to drop the car. I don't know why I don't just... Excuse me. I don't know why I just don't drive everywhere. And obviously, we know why, because I run into everything and break it. Okay, so lights. Let's just do like one over there and one over here. These should line up in a cool way. So, I did that. They're all straight, and there we go. And it has lights. Why is it taking so... Why is nothing crap? Okay, here we go. The first blues coming in. And the blues will just have to go to here because we already have a connection set up for it. Blues are gonna jump across and join the military science. Okay, now let's get to the science. What are we going to be researching with our new blue science? Well, let's do research speed. Oh, ×2. That's going to take forever, but once they're done, our research will pick up faster. We definitely need... We're going to be doing advanced oil soon. I think that... Okay, that's in the next episode. So let's do advanced oil. Let's do the inserter capacity. Is that the only one? Yeah, so we'll do the inserter capacity. That's just for the bulk one, but that's fine. And lubricant. We are well on our way to getting robots. It's so close. Oh, and I just dropped my phone. It is so close. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this episode up here. And you know what? We should also make some solar panels soon. Because now we have night vision. Oh my gosh, these are actually kind of cheap. Let's just do this super quick. I need some steel. I need some red. So let's make a night vision, and I made enough for 10 of those. That's fine. And then we can put those into our modular armor. So the night vision takes up a 4 slot, and then the we probably should have done 15 solar panels. What do I need for those? Solar panel, right? What do I need for the solar panels? Green circuits. Steel is fine. Red circuits. What? Okay, what am I? Copper. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just do 15. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that. We'll let that craft up for us. That is all for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to be setting up advanced oil. That's going to be... well, there's a very, very specific things that things have to line up. And... it's going to be another one of those builds where I just don't know how you would set it up anymore, like any better than what we're going to end up setting it up. Like, we're not necessarily going to ratio everything, but we do have to have things placed in a very specific order, in a very specific way. So we will take care of that in the next episode. It might be a little bit longer, but you know, hopefully we can bang it out and get it all right the first time. So on that note, I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.